February 9th, 2020. Joe here at Simple Life Show, where the simplest answers are usually the best. I appreciate everyone for joining me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So I didn't really think I was going to be having to talk about the Super Bowl anymore. And it looks like that J-Lo has been back in the news here. Of course, there was a lot of backlash over how racy the halftime show was, and a lot of people complaining about it. As we see every single year, the halftime show kind of gets a little bit more racier as time goes on, or there's some sort of controversy about it. I would say that if this type of stuff does offend you, please understand this is a reflection of the society that we live in right now. That people who put these Super Bowl halftime shows together, or any kind of entertainment together, are kind of taking the cues of society as we give it to them. Now, you could say that one feeds the other, and there might be an argument to that. That what came first, the chicken or the egg type of argument. Are we being influenced by entertainment, or is entertainment taking the cues from society? That's an interesting question. I really don't know. I mean, it could be a little bit of both. Maybe we're feeding each other. Maybe society's feeding entertainment, and entertainment's kind of enhancing and solidifying the programming that's already in our mind. But that is a topic of another discussion for another time. So Jennifer Lopez, seeing that there was a lot of backlash over this, how racy it was. I mean, you can have your own opinions, but there was, I did see it was a little over the top, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. But Jennifer Lopez wanted Super Bowl halftime show to convey women are on top of the world. We all know that it was kind of a proclamation of feminism and so forth, which I don't have a problem with. But if she wants to try to say that this was something that she was trying to teach little girls, I just don't buy it. Here she says in a statement, the message of standing up for yourself, being a woman, that's what I want to pass on to little girls. Everything about you, be proud of it, she says. I'm very proud of the performance last night. And that's fine if she's proud of it. But I think that telling little girls to gyrate their hips and be all sexual and stuff like that, I don't think that's the right message for little girls. That's not very empowering. In fact, it's the opposite of empowering. Yeah, you have a choice if you want to do that, sure, but that's not the message in and of itself. The message itself is that sex sells, and we all know that. Marketing plays into our internal desire for the opposite sex, and so that's constantly what we're inundated with. And entertainers know this, and their managers know this. So every type of entertaining anything, whether it be movie, music, live performance, this is what is at the heart of everything. This is what they focus on because it's all psychology. It has nothing to do with empowering anybody as a human being. It has to do with selling seats. And that is the only message that we're really getting across. And I don't want to spend any more time on that. So what's really important here is that there was a driver here recently, that plowed through a GOP voter registration tent in Florida. Of course, it's in Florida. Everything crazy happens in Florida, as the meme goes. Now, the suspect's already been arrested. It says here, Jacksonville, Florida, a 27-year-old man faces several charges, including aggravated assault, after he allegedly drove his van through a tent in Florida where Republican voters were registering. There is there's a video of this, someone talking about kind of how it went all down.
He hit the gas and plowed into us.
How close did he come to hitting people?
Probably maybe about a half a foot. It was very, very close.
Saturday, Mark Alfieri was volunteering with the Republican Party of Duval County, registering voters with 5 other women. He says before 3, this van pulled up to their site in Kernan Village.
Kind of out of the blue, a man approached us in a van, was waving at us, kind of a friendly demeanor, thought he was coming up to talk to us. Instead, he accelerated his vehicle and plowed right into our tent, our tables.
Thankfully, no one was injured, but Alfieri says he got a decent look at the man, describing him as a white man in his 20s.
After he ran over everything, he backed up, took out a cell phone, kind of recorded the damage, made some obscene gestures at us, and then proceeded to leave the complex.
Okay, so this just recently happened yesterday, and I think this is really something that we all need to be paying attention to, just like everything else. Democrats, and I'm not even going to call them Democrats, I'm just going to call them the far left. They're just as dangerous as the far right. They are taking matters into their own hands. I guess maybe he had some handlers. Maybe he wanted to put it on social media. Maybe he just wants attention. And a lot of these things, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get attention. They're bored. They're bored with their lives, and they want to fight back against something. They're not exactly sure what to do with their lives anymore. They can't do anything productive. So why not just, interfere with the lives of everyone else, throw cog into the machine, and all that other kind of stuff, throw a monkey wrench into everything and cause upheaval and chaos. Because that is what, that's really literally what the whole Antifa and new communist movement is all about. It's all about creating chaos and shaking up the system and all that kind of stuff. But it's not for the best; it's for the worst. We all know that socialism is always leads to communism. It's not a good thing. And here is the mugshot of the person that was actually eventually arrested, Gregory Tim. So, I mean, there's just a lot of hypocrisy going on here, especially with the left. They're talking about wanting to live in a world that is more accepting, peaceful. But what have they done? They have done nothing but endorse violence, and we have members of Congress that are endorsing this type of stuff too. Remember when Maxine Waters says, "Hey, get up in their face, get they're all but just putting the bat in someone's hands," and they have done this through their rhetoric, through their twisted ideologies, through their misunderstandings of what a free society really is and what free market capitalism really is. I do not like the system that we are living under, myself as well. I do not believe in crony capitalism. I believe that it can be just as destructive as any other bad system because it is corruption on its head. And when you have a system that's run by corrupt leaders, the same thing's going to happen in the end anyway. The people are going to revolt because the people are the ones, the people that are especially in the middle and the lower class, those are the ones that are going to get hurt the worst. And when you have an uprising like that, then yeah, it's going to be violent. And, there's going to be a lot of bad things that are going to happen as a result. But I thought I would share that as well. Now, in Portland, if you were not aware, there was supposed to be let me get this, hold on for a second. There was supposed to be a KKK rally in Portland. And once I guess the organizers of that KKK rally knew that Antifa was going to be there, they decided that they were just going to call the whole thing off, and they never showed up. But the problem is that Portland police retreat from protest line after Antifa thugs throw bottles, eggs, and projectiles at officers. So Antifa showed up anyway. They wanted to fight someone. They wanted to hurt someone. And that's what it's all about. So they accomplished their goal of making sure that this KKK rally didn't happen. And fine, I applaud that. The KKK shouldn't have their rally. But from a First Amendment perspective, I would say, hear them out. Always let them speak. Because if you silence people who have bad ideas, then that will only embolden those bad ideas. Okay, so I don't hear anyone saying that we should shut Antifa up. We shouldn't allow them to speak and stuff like that and hold their rallies. But when they show up to a rally after they have already accomplished what they set out to do, and they show up anyway and are violent, then that proves to me and any other rational person out there that's looking at this that it's not about stopping so-called fascism. It's about rage. It's about violence. They want to break something. They want to kill people. So they were in They were in Portland doing this, as is very common. We see here a lot of the graffiti that was put out here. You see the A for anarchy. It's all about anarchy against everyone. We see the 3 arrows pointing down. If you're not familiar with that, it's actually 3 arrows down, okay? And they changed it to 2 arrows down, 1 up, okay? Remember when we were talking about that? They changed that symbolism because a lot of people were pointing it out how dumb it was because the whole symbol was down for communism too. Okay, so they changed that symbolism to down with the Nazis and fascism, but up with communism. Communism will save everyone, says the anti-fascist. But fascism is all about the hands of the power, the powerful. The power is in the hands of the few, and that's what they're all mad about right now. But that's what they really want. I mean, it really makes no sense whatsoever. And of course, we see here kill cops here on the side, along with the hammer and sickle right there. I mean, and it looks like this was blacked out on this side. It was probably an F-bomb or something like that. That's what it looks like. So they are the Antifa is all about anti-authority. It's not anti-fascism. It's anti-authority. They want a world of complete anarchy. And that might work for a few weeks until all of the utilities go out. There's no power, there's no running water, and everyone starts to get sick and they start dying. Because we all know that those people that are part of Antifa aren't very self-sufficient. They need the system. They're probably some of the few people out there that are the most dependent on the system. They are not anti anything. They are just full of rage and they want to hurt people and they don't know what to do. That's why they showed up when the KKK did not show up, and they just started attacking people. So here's a few videos showing that.
Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. How about you just get fucking walking, buddy? Hey, get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Please leave. Get the fuck out. What the fuck up? How you doing? It's been a while. Oh, hey, Santa! Last time I saw you, you got kicked off the fucking bench. What's that for? Huh? Oh, the exact same thing I'm gonna use it for. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. How about you just get fucking Just go. Hey, get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Please leave. Get the fuck out. Hey! If you touch me, you fucking touch me. You dumb fuck. How you wanna go? Hey, buddy. Sorry about that. How about you just get fucking walking, buddy?
So we see there that Antifa also important to note that the Democratic Socialists of America showed up, and this is them coming in. So yeah, that was just a short clip of the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, showing up to Portland for the protests. They knew exactly what was going on. They knew how much violence was going to happen. It is in their charter. It is in their playbook to not be tolerant of the intolerant, which is, on its head, just completely illogical. You have to be patient with people. You have to fight bad ideas with good ideas. But what Antifa is doing is that they're fighting bad ideas with even worse ideas. The KKK, they're bad. But they didn't show up because maybe they didn't want the violence. I don't know. I'm not trying to give an excuse to the KKK or anyone out there that's racist. But they didn't show up, but Antifa did. They wanted violence. They wanted to hurt people. I really just don't know. I mean, I'm doing less and less videos, but I want to keep doing these things. But at the same time, look here. One of the the persons here, one of the people that was in that video. This is a GoFundMe for, he lost all of his photography and video equipment. He got attacked, and they ruined thousands of dollars worth of, you know, if you've ever done any kind of audio or video outside, you know how expensive that equipment can be. So this Brandon Brown and Kimberly Brown are organizing this fundraiser. It's for this guy here. This guy was an independent journalist. He was assaulted by a mob of anti-protesters. I was in Olympia, Washington, to cover the publicized Nazi Hammerskins rally and Antifa counter-protest for a photojournalism project. The rally turned out to be a hoax. No Nazis showed up. And it was actually the KKK, but they didn't show up either. With no Nazis to battle against, the 60 or so mostly masked Antifa protester turned their wrath on 5 members of Portland's Liberation, a conservative libertarian group, who had also come to protest against the Nazi Hammerskins. So instead of actually just having a decent discussion with someone, because the enemy of my enemy is supposed to be my friend, right? But that's not the case anymore. So we had conservatives and libertarians out there that were against the KKK and all that, and Nazis and so forth, just as much as the Antifa protesters. But instead of actually talking with them, instead of welcoming them, they decide they're going to attack them. I mean, just let that really sink in, and how just moronic that is. This was created back in 2019. This was from another... this was apparently from another protest where Antifa had hurt him. So he actually went back and got attacked again. I guess if I was him, I would probably stay away. But I applaud the actual journalists out there that are continuing to put themselves in harm's way, so we can actually see the Antifa protesters for who they are and why they're doing this. It has nothing to do with any kind of political statement. They're not really trying to accomplish anything. It's all about anarchy. It's all about just completely throwing the system upside down. They don't want a new system. I'm not exactly sure why they carry around the communist flag or the old Russian flag. I'm not sure why they adapt that ideology, because they're all about just pure chaos. But of course, we know that communism and so forth just ends up devolving into pure chaos anyway. So maybe they're just trying to skip a step. I don't know. I just thought it was really funny that we have a group here that decided they were just going to attack people just to attack them. I think that's very revealing, and it lies at the true heart of Antifa itself. Until the next time, this is Joe with Simple Life Show. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.